Hello, hello. Is anybody out there? This is my first time doing the StreamYard, so I'm really just testing it out, see if it's working. Oh, it is working. What's up? What's up, Jimmy Guns? What's up, Ron Fig? Guess it is working. I sent an invitation out to John Mangini. See if you want to talk. What's up, Danny and Greg? Hey, what's up, Bobby? Yeah, that's my title testing because I didn't know if it was gonna work or not. It's my first time doing it. So, what's up, NASCAR? Yeah, it's pretty cool. I was talking to Mangini on the phone today for like hours and a couple hours, and we were saying we should do a stream. So I sent him the link right now, right? That's how you do it. I texted him a link. Let's see if it works out. So how you been, Jimmy Guns, man? What's up, NASCAR? How you like it at your new place? Where you staying in Idaho? Where you staying, NASCAR? But yeah, me and Mangini wanted to just talk cards. Just keep it hobby, you know? No drama for your mama. So let's see he jumps on here pretty soon. So I'm basically waiting for John Mangini. Unless anybody else wants to join in or try. I don't know if I could do it now, if I could send you a link. I don't know how I do it because this is on my phone. Arizona. Oh, you moved back to Arizona. What's up, Mike? Why? Oh, do you? Oh, Jimmy. Hey, what's up, Steve? Steven the Eve. What's up, Mike Hitman 23? Check it out, the old school. Um, it says I got a guess. So is that John? Yep, it is. I don't know how he joins. Can you see me, John? I don't know what I'm doing here. Sorry, I don't know. I don't know how to. Trying to figure out how to put Mangini on. John, you have my link, right? Is that how you're here? Let me see. Yeah, it's the same thing. Oh man, this thing is a mess. What's up, Elbow Sausage? Think Blue 77, yo, yo, hey, dudes. Sorry for all this. Um, oh, click on him. Duh.
There you go.
All right. Are you in here?
I'm
There,
in.
man. Thanks, Jimmy Guns.
Jimmy
Trying to figure.
Guns.
Should have did a practice run before this. So he told me to finally click on your picture, and finally, that's all I had to do. Who knew?
Yeah, I never hosted one of these before, so I don't know.
Me either. I've been a part of a lot of them, but I've never done one myself. So this is
Yeah.
my first time.
So Caesar, I mean, we talked for like 2 hours earlier, so I don't know if we have anything left to talk about.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the same things.
Yeah. Ah, man,
Yes.
it's an honor. It's an honor to be on with the great Pepino Man.
Shoot,
One of
look at the people we got on here, man. Look at all these stars. We got Jimmy Guns, Hitman, Think Blue. Can you see the comments, Mangini, anywhere?
no.
Ah,
Oh,
yeah.
wait, I could turn them on. Oh, there I go.
Oh, you
Okay,
got it.
now. Hey guys.
All right, guys. So we don't know what we're doing here. So feel free. Hey, what's up north collectors? What's going on?
We're a couple, old school card collectors trying to use technology.
Yeah, it's not working out so great, but it's working out.
Right. It's like learning refractors and parallels for the first time.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. I don't think I mentioned to you, but like I remember telling you a little bit when I first got on YouTube. I wasn't too keen on the shiny cards and parallels. Didn't know any of that, and I swear, like I learned almost everything I know about modern cards from Baseball Card Junkies TV. Like 3 years ago, man. Like it seemed like they were it. Like that was my favorite channel, man. It's like I was, because I remember when I used to be on Instagram collecting cards, and people would just like, in the comments put a parallel or this and that. I had no idea what they were saying, what that meant. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
started watching their channel, and they were telling you, describing to you, what number card, short print. I was like, oh, okay, now I know. I was too
Yeah.
afraid to ask. It looked stupid on Instagram.
Yeah. I mean, I knew a refractor was a special one, but I didn't know why. I didn't even know what it meant. you know, because I had put my cards away for a very long time. Like I didn't do anything with them. I was traveling different places and living different places for work, and they were in storage. So I took them out in 2014, and it was like a whole new world. You know?
Oh, big time! I mean, just the material they were made out of. They weren't cardboard anymore. I remember.
Yeah.
I remember I used to say that all the time. Is like if you look at an old box, like if you have a box of old cards, like just it looks the same as the box you have them in. It's like brown cardboard. It looks the same. Now
Right.
the cards are all colorful. They're a bright white one on the sides, on the borders. But Up North Collectors is asking a question: if I get a World Series ring, and the answer to that is I think I have the option to buy an employee ring. We have the option to buy one pretty cheap, I guess, but we don't get one for free because I'm not full time. You have to work there on year round to get a ring for free. And I'm only part time. I only work the games. I'm game staff. So no.
That's awesome to get one though at all. Now I have this care package you sent me a while back.
Oh, the dirt.
Yeah, tell me about this.
Yeah, that all right, so the night that Kershaw threw that no hitter and I was fixing the bullpen, one of my friends who doesn't even really collect baseball cards, but he does collect other Star Wars. He collects all. He likes to go to real estate sales and junkyards and stuff, and he buys like just odd stuff. So he knows about value and stuff. And I was really amazed that that day that happened. Nobody else texted me this, but he texted me. He's like, "Hey, can I get some of that dirt from the mound from where Kershaw just pitched the no hitter?" And I was like, "Yeah, nobody's ever asked me for that." So I walk up to the mound and I just grab all kinds of dirt because right after the game we sweep it all up and leave it clean. All the stuff that's been brought up, all the dirt, we sweep it up and we throw it away. So when the guy swept it up and he was putting it in the wheelbarrow, I just I went to the bullpen and I grabbed a bag of sunflower seeds, an empty bag, emptied it out, and just put a bunch of dirt in a big old bag of sunflower seeds. And so then I got it, and then I texted my friend like the next day, like, "Hey, I got it. You gonna come get it?" He said, "Yeah, I'll go get it." Dude, it had to be like months and months until almost a year passed until the no the anniversary of the no hitter came around. I was like, "Oh, I still got a bag of that." I go, "My friend never came for it." So then I just decided to just give it away in small chunks. It was a big bag, and that big bag made a bunch of little bags.
Ah, okay. Yeah, this was like the best care package I ever got. Piece of the dirt from Dodger Stadium. Hey, let me ask you this. So do you keep the infield a little extra rocky when the opposing team's offense?
No, when I first started, my old boss there, the head groundskeeper, and at the time the assistant was Larry DeVito, who's now the guy for the Minnesota Twins. Before he's like a really big deal in groundskeeping. But they used to be about whole field advantage. Like the visitors bullpen. We kept it dry. We didn't fix it right. We just didn't care about the visitors bullpen. Like, but once the guard changed and we got like a new boss, he wants to have an even playing field. He cares more about the quality than about home field advantage or any of that. So
Yeah.
yeah, we don't do that anymore.
So funny story. When I was little, my dad and my uncle took me to my first Steeler game. And I was a little kid. I didn't know any better. And it became known as the Blizzard Bowl against the Baltimore Colts. And we go, and I am not dressed for this cold of weather, right? I got sneakers on. My feet are freezing. We're all freezing. And so we spent the first quarter watching the game. The second quarter, we watched it in the bathroom, in the restroom under the heater. And then they took me to a bar to watch the second half because nobody could stand the cold. And what happened was every time the Colts had the ball, they wouldn't clean. They'd only clean the Steelers side of the football when they'd come out there and clean off the snow. And so when we were watching it on TV, they were making a big deal about this. All the Colt fans were calling in and complaining. It was kind of
Yeah, that's why I say nowadays there's really no such thing as a home field advantage. I work at USC full time. That's my year-round job, and we had I know you know this name, but the pitching coach at the time when I started was some guy Tom House.
yeah.
Uh, he's the guy that caught Hank Aaron's ball and stuff. Well, he was the pitching coach, and believe me, it was an interesting character. I used to love talking to him because he talked a lot about the steroids in baseball.
Yeah.
And but the mound, regular mound, official mound is supposed to be at 10 inches high, 10 inches high from the plate. It has, we do that with lasers. We measure it. It's got to be exactly 10 inches high. You go up another inch, 2 inches, you increase the velocity, easily and inches on the curveball. So the higher the mound is, the more devastating the more it improves the pitcher. But that's why I say it's like, well, so I mean, we had it at 12 inches one year, the next year 14 inches, and the next year we went up to 16. But the time we went up to 16 was actually for the benefit of those. Do you remember that movie $1 Million Arm?
Yeah.
That took place at my work at USC. So those two guys from India, they were there at my workplace for a whole year, almost every day.
Oh yeah.
I mean, all the people that work with me, most of them talk Spanish, and those Indian guys, they picked up on the Spanish. Like we had them speaking Spanish from talking to all us. It was pretty amazing because they learned English and Spanish at the same time. But if you remember, like in that movie, how the guys they were only throwing like 80 miles an hour, when they were pitching for the Scouts, but when they went to SC to pitch for the Pirates, they were like throwing in the 90s, because we elevated the mound, So once they went back to the majors and threw off a 10-inch mound, they weren't throwing the same speed or their stuff wasn't breaking as good.
When did they change the mound? Wasn't the mound wasn't it higher? Didn't they change that for Bob Gibson?
No,
because of him?
I believe I believe what it was is it didn't have any specific rule to it. It could be in whatever the home team wanted.
Oh.
But they changed it because of Bob Gibson, because the players were just complaining that it was too big an advantage for him.
Yeah, that's
what they put. That's what they put it down to 10.
Yeah. Now let me ask you. Let's go back. You said Tom House what did he have with Hank Aaron? What was the significance?
He's the guy that was in the bullpen ready to throw when Hank Aaron hit that home run, and he's the one that caught it. So he kept that ball. I think he kept that ball until Hank Aaron got inducted into the Hall of Fame, and he gave it back to him.
Oh, I didn't know that. So what's interesting is he hit that off of Al Downing, and they both wore number 44. Ironic.
Yeah, Tom House. If any of you guys, I know I don't really talk about it much, but like in the off season of football, we have a lot of big time quarterbacks that train at USC under Tom House. Tom House has like a arm and strength conditioning kind of thing.
Oh,
so
okay.
Tom Brady, Tom Brady, Drew Brees. I mean, all these quarterbacks, they train at USC in the offseason under Tom House. That's when so when I first got on YouTube, I remember that's when I had a bunch of footballs, from the Patriots, the Eagles, the Bengals. I had a bunch of NFL footballs, and the reason I had them was because each of the quarterbacks would train with a different ball. Every quarterback had wanted it a different, either the skin a little smoother. Tom Brady obviously liked it less inflated, you know. But all the footballs had a different feel to them because every football was tailored to the way the actual quarterback wanted it. You know what I mean? So I remember after every season, after every offseason, they would throw all these footballs away, trash bags full of Patriots footballs, Raiders footballs, Jets footballs, and I would take one from each bag every year. And I remember that asking Tom House, I noticed it right away. I said, "Hey, the Patriots ball feels like a little flat," and he's all like, "Oh yeah, it's because Tom Brady has a small hand and it's easier for him to grip," and just told me all that, and I didn't know later on, Deflategate would come, and I was like, "Yeah." I said, Tom House even told the Trojans about that, and the Trojans got busted on a football game for deflating the ball also under Lane Kiffin, I believe.
I don't know what the big deal is with the ball pressure, but it's
Yeah, it's not really an advantage or disadvantage. It's just more comfortable. You know
right.
what I mean? He's
Yeah,
got smaller hands, so it's easier for him to grip it, with a little bit less air. But some people like it overinflated. They like it super inflated. It's all preference.
right.
What's up, Jack Frost?
So what
Man, I've been missing out on all these comments. I've been just into the conversation.
have so what are you into this year? What kind of product? You have a favorite?
Well, Topps flagship. At Topps flagship, as far as base cards go, and I love to buy one box of triple threads just to see what I get, because when you buy triple threads, it's way out of my price range, but I always save up for it for the release date, and I buy one box. But the thing with triple threads is that every card is badass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It only has like six or eight cards or something, but every card is badass. So I like that product. And one of my favorite sets that I almost never can finish to put together is on the Topps Gold label. For whatever
Oh.
reason, I really like, but they seem to be looking the same now every year. They seem to be looking the same.
Yeah, I haven't gotten those in years. I have some from I think probably the earlier 2000s when they first came out. Do you know when they first came out? I can't remember. It might have been
No, but I
even was
know
it the 90s?
I have some of them that are old, like 2011, 12. So they've been around for a while, but
Yeah.
I never picked up on them until like 2015 or something for me.
Yeah, I like the as we were talking, I like the Stadium Club Chrome this year. I think they're gorgeous cards. And
I haven't seen any, man, in person. I have not seen any in person, man.
there's such good images on there and some like overhead shots, like the
Yeah,
Walker Bueller is like an overhead shot of him pitching. And man, I'm not a big fan of retired players in modern product, but I pulled a Roberto Clemente sliding into third. I think that's the image from the '71 World Series. It's just a fabulous card. I also
I,
I got real into the mosaic football this year. These cards
yeah,
are
those are nice.
beautiful. So that's
Yeah,
what I've been into.
yeah. When what? Yes, my wife's leaving. Um,
For good?
we had
For good? You ever
I'm not that.
suitcase?
Uh,
Too
but
many baseball cards.
pre-COVID. All right, we're talking pre-COVID. Uh, the basketball prisms kind of started taking off, because of Zion Williams.
Yep.
And it got to the point where you couldn't find them at the Walmarts or Targets anymore. That's when people started buying them out, but it was just that, not everything. It was just the basketball prism because of the Zion. And I found the box at at Big Five Sporting Goods. And then the lady there told me, yeah, they sell them at Rite Aid too, right here, the next door. So I went to the Rite Aid and they had some. So for a while, I was just buying these cards, as they came out. And then it seems like once I told people, like people were like, hey, where are you finding this? I can't find it anywhere. Oh, Big Five, Rite Aid, CVS. Then people started looking for them everywhere. And then like, boom, they were gone. Like
Yeah,
even my friend that worked at Big Five, I was like, hey, when are you guys going to get another one? She said, oh, the manager knows about how much they cost. So he buys them and sells them on eBay now. He never puts them out. I was
yeah.
like, oh, man.
So I found like a couple leftover packs at a card store, and that was all I could get my hands on all year. Just a couple of packs, few packs, and of course I didn't get the big cards. But they're the Prism are beautiful cards. But like this year's football, I mean I'm not paying $1,000 for a box of Prism football. So I haven't gotten my hands on any of those. I just wanted to say, somebody was asking if I had any cool Gary Carter cards. I have pretty much all his main cards. I don't know how cool, but one of the ones I really like is the 1977 77 O-Pee-Chee, because that card shows him with a totally different pose than the Tops. But I pretty much have all his cards. That was I was young during that era, and he was one of the top players. I like the probably my favorite's the 76. I love that card.
Well, the 76 year?
Yeah. 76 Tops, Gary Carter. I always like the trophy cards.
Yeah, like in Dodgers, we have a lot of 76 cards, but Chevron, Union 76,
yeah,
that's their sponsor. So I was like, are you talking about the gas station 76 or the
Oh no, I was talking about Gary Carter's Tops baseball card.
Yeah, I'm not. Are you familiar with Carter's Kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, he has crazy Gary Carter collection, man, insane.
Yeah. I don't know what's his rarest card. I'm always into rare cards.
Dude, like Steve Carter's Kids gets into like all the variations with the stickers. Some of them even had garbage pail back stickers.
Yeah. You know what? That just reminded me. Where do I have that? Yeah, I have these like these old sticker albums. I remember getting these as a kid. There was one with Gary Carter. Do I have that one? I think I have that, but not here. Not handy. I do have that one somewhere. He was on the cover of one, right? I think 82.
I used to tell Steve all the time, I go, I got Gary Carter staring at me every time I make a video because I had the 87 Fleer tin box complete set right next to where I used to stream, and Gary Carter's on the side of it. I said, so every time I'm making a video, I'm looking right at Gary Carter. Yeah, I can find that real quick. This tin.
I love your room, Pepino.
This tin box I had next to me, as I said, yeah, Gary Carter's staring at me every day. He's right on the edge looking at me.
So should Gary Carter be in the Hall of Fame?
I'm not sure why he's not. If he's not, then maybe not. I don't know, man. That's a big controversy, the Hall of Fame thing with who and who. Popularity wise, yeah. Gary Carter, I used to like him. He stood out to me because he was in the baseball bunch. You know what I mean? So I mean, I have his rookie card, on the spine of my 75. He was one of my favorite players personality wise, So I've always
been Carter Kid says he's in the Hall of Fame? I didn't think Carter got in.
The Mets didn't want to let him in their Hall of Fame or something was the controversy, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think the Mets let him in the Mets Hall of Fame or something like that. One of the teams he was on, or the Expos.
Well, he was definitely one of the top catchers of his day.
Steve will know that.
Definitely.
2003, he got in.
Oh, okay. I wasn't watching. I kind of fell off of baseball for a while. I got real mad when the Pirates started to just become a farm system for the rest of the league. And I had two players to watch back then. I had Brian Giles and Jason Kendall. And we got Kirk Gibson for a while, Reggie Sanders. We had some fun ball players to watch. Of course, Kirk Gibson was at the end of his career. So I was a Giles and Jason Kendall fan, and I told everybody I was getting so mad watching all the talent we have leave. And I said, if they get rid of Brian Giles, because they had just gotten rid of Jason Kendall, I'm like, I'm not watching them ever again. And they got rid of Brian after that, and I stopped watching baseball for like a decade.
Yeah.
And so that was around the time.
So did
I
I.
honestly did. I was so frustrated not having anybody to even watch. You know, back in the 50s, the Pirates had a terrible team, and Branch Rickey was the general manager. And the only player they had to watch in Pittsburgh, it was before me, obviously, was Ralph Kiner. And Ralph Kiner is the only player in history to lead the league in home runs his first 7 straight seasons. And he was the only person in Pittsburgh, the only player anybody had to watch. So one year, they always come in last place. They went to Branch Rickey and he had a raise. And you know what Branch Rickey told him? He said, if I could come in last place with you, I could come in last place without you. And that's when Ralph Kiner went to the Cleveland Indians.
Is that the same Branch Rickey from the Dodgers?
Yes, he came to Pittsburgh. He came to Pittsburgh after he left the Brooklyn Dodgers. And an interesting story is when Frank Robinson was coming up, he wanted to, and he's the one that recruited Roberto Clemente. But when Frank Robinson was coming up, he tried to trade for him. And the Cincinnati Reds coach said, I wouldn't give you Frank Robinson for everyone on your team, for your entire team. That's how high he was on him.
Yeah, Branch Rickey, like, I never knew too much about him. Growing up as a Dodger fan, I heard about him, knew who he was. But it wasn't until one year we went to a groundskeepers convention in Orlando, and me and a few of the guys, we took a bus to Vero Beach, Florida, to Dodger Town. This was like its last year before it was gonna get torn down when they moved to Arizona. But so we took a tour of Dodger Town, and they were talking about like they had a golf course there, and Branch Rickey built it for Jackie Robinson because they wouldn't let Jackie Robinson play on a lot of courses. So he built Jackie Robinson his own golf course. So they tell us all this stuff that he did for Jackie Robinson that I really never knew about. You know what I mean?
Hey, I want to show you something. I don't know if you ever saw it. I just need 1 second.
What's up, big man? Who's here? Reindeer Studios, man. What's up, Reindeer Studios? Yeah, it's hard for me to keep up with the comments, dude. Not that it's hard to keep up, I'm paying attention to John.
I have here, this is an original Look magazine article when Jackie came into the league. Pretty cool there with Branch Rickey. It's dated, what's the date on here? March 19th, 1946.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty cool piece of history.
Eggman, are you talking about the cocaine Mets? How dare you? How dare you?
W. Vogs, do you see me?
Oh, yeah, I see your comments, Vogs. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, just right now talking about the '80s cocaine in baseball. When I first joined the Dodgers grounds crew, there was a older security guard, and everybody called him El Cubano, right? And he was a Cuban guy, and he drove an old ass Mercedes Benz. You know what I mean? And security guards, they don't get paid that much, and but he had a nice old Mercedes Benz, like an old one. And once I got to know him a little bit better, one time he gave me a ride, and he started telling me about being a security guard in the '80s, at Dodger Stadium. And he was like, "Dude, I said something about the car. Well, what year is this car? It was like a '85, '86 or something." He's like, "Yeah, I bought it brand new cash." And I'm what? I'm what? So you bought this like 40 years ago? And he's all like, "Cash, yeah." And I was like, "How?" He's dude, I was making so much money selling cocaine to these players. He's man, it was the '80s were the best time of my life. I was partying with the players. I was making so much money. He's and then steroids came and people started doing steroids instead of cocaine. You know, like I was living it up, man, and like now my life is sad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but he said
Yeah,
he was.
there's different eras that you go through, and the cocaine era was certainly one of them, and then the steroid era. And before that, a lot of players got drunk. Like
Yeah.
my dad always tells me a story about a Pittsburgh Steeler quarterback who ran into a streetcar on the way to the game. Never even saw it. He was so drunk. And Grover Cleveland Alexander, they said he couldn't even pitch if he was sober.
Well, shit. Even what's his name? David David Wells.
Oh,
He
I don't know.
Yeah, he threw his no hitter with a hangover.
Oh,
Like
is
he
that
was
right?
really hungover when he threw his no hitter.
Well, Doc Ellis has that beat.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember who that. Oh, it's that guy. Do you remember that pitcher? Bob Lee, I think his name, Bill Lee, the spaceman.
The spaceman, yeah.
Yeah, he always called bullshit on that story. Like
Did
on
he?
Doc Ellis, he's a man. I call bullshit. Have you ever been on LSD? He's like, you can't even walk to the mound if you're on LSD.
Well, okay, so if you saw his documentary, it was exaggerated a little bit.
Yeah,
And what I mean by that is he was coming off his high.
yeah. He had
So
been on
he
LSD
was
the day before, right?
Yeah, the story goes in his words, these are in his words, that he was at this drug house and he was partying it up and he didn't think he had to pitch for a couple days. And his wife called him and said, "You're pitching today." And he's like, "No, I'm not on the schedule to pitch today. I ain't pitching." And she's like, "You're pitching. You need to go." And then he just drove straight to the stadium and he had to pitch. So it was like the morning after he had been high all night.
Yeah, I
The
believe
funny
like
thing is that was the ugliest no hitter in the history of baseball. He beamed guys, he walked guys,
yeah,
but he threw a no hitter. Yeah.
yeah, because I think the precursor to that was they were playing in San Diego. His team was in San Diego, and he had like a girlfriend or something in LA. And he begged the coach to let him go to LA for the day because he wasn't going to pitch for like 2 or 3 days. So they told him, okay, you're not pitching. Go ahead, go to LA. So he came, did some acid, and then they called him, hey, now you have to pitch tomorrow. He's like, no, I don't. They already told me I don't. I don't know if the other guy got hurt or whatever, but he had to drive to San Diego and pitch the next day.
Yeah, hold on 1 second. I want to show you something else.
Was there a hungover pitcher in a Game 7 World Series? I don't know when David Wells did it.
I don't know if that's going to come in.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that's Doc Ellis right there. And that's and this is
I like the story of how when the story about when Doc Ellis, I think they were playing the Reds, and he told them, I don't know if it was the Reds or the Phillies, I believe it was the Reds, and he told them, and he was pissed, and he told them, I'm gonna hit you guys, and they're like, go ahead, bring it, and he's like, I'm gonna hit you guys. That the first batter up was Pete Rose, and he threw right at his butt, hit him right in the butt, and that Pete Rose just picks the ball up and walks up to him. He's like, here you go, kid, and that Doc Ellis like, oh, screw this, he threw at the next 3 hitters. I think he hit 4 batters in a row.
I was just going to tell you that story because he talks about that on the on his documentary.
Yeah,
where he's like, I've seen the first 4 batters of the Big Red Machine, and then they yanked me.
Yeah, you can't even throw at 2 guys. You can't even throw at 1 guy without getting a warning nowadays. You know?
Right? Yeah.
Spaceman is a great TTMer. He's I know about Spaceman because he went to USC. You know, so I always do my research on old USC players. So
You
I
know
know
why they called him Spaceman?
Huh?
You know why they called him Spaceman?
I guess because of his ideas. I forgot totally, but
yeah, I don't know the whole story. I think it's because he was real eccentric and kind of out,
Yeah,
kind of out
there. He became like he was in office somewhere like in Canada or something, right? He ran for office and something. Yeah, he had a career in politics after that, after baseball.
And you know who he had an aunt that played for the all late the League of Their Own league.
Yeah, she was the one in the movie, right? I think.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy, man.
Yeah.
See,
Do you collect any other sports?
I collect everything. I mean, not everything. I'm not gonna say like say I have soccer cards, but I don't collect them. It's just if people give it to them, or I find packs for cheap and there's nothing else, I'll buy them. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I collect basketball, collect football. Like I told you, I just completed my set of 2020 Prism basketball. I completed the whole set. I have it in my binder. Um, like let me like I was right now that I've been organizing and moving all my boxes. I put all my football cards together. So, like this is one of my football boxes that I was putting together. You know, and like a month ago or something, I was looking through here, and so these are all cards that all packs that I bought. You know, and I was just looking through here, like going through them, like man, they're not in numerical order. You know, it's like when you put a box of 800 cards in numerical order, it takes a long time. So
Yeah.
I was kind of pissed. I was like, damn, it's gonna take me like 3 hours to put these cards in order. Then I came across this card.
Oh, no way.
I was
Nice.
like, yeah, it's a shimmer Mahomes rookie. I was like, oh, cool. You know, like I don't remember that I had it because I pulled this 3 years ago. You know, before he became the man. You know,
Yeah. Well, it's funny because so the year before he started,
I probably should have it sleeved or something.
you definitely should have that sleeve. Jeez. You're making me nervous.
I get that so much, John. I'm probably like the worst at taking care of my cards because you know what I mean. They're treasures to me, but I don't treat them like treasures. I guess you know.
Yeah, so his rookie season, I remember I bought some prisms, and I pulled this one of those ones where it's a picture of him, and then there's another picture on the left side. What are those called? Illustrations or illusions or something?
Yeah.
And then I pulled a jersey card of him, and of course I didn't know who he was. And I always pull these jersey cards and autos of guys that never play in the NFL. So I like shut him aside, thinking, "Oh, here's another scrub." And so when he became popular, I had forgotten that I pulled those, and I went looking to see if I had any of his rookie cards, and I had those two in like perfect condition. And I was like,
Well,
"Yes!"
like I remember when Harold Baines made the Hall of Fame. All these people are like, "Oh, look, I have a Harold Baines rookie in my comments box that I never knew I had."
Right?
You know.
Yeah, everybody. We were all going back looking for him. That happened with a lot of players. You know, they'd have a really good year, and then you go back search it.
V Vogs asking if we've ever heard of the Koufax Yom Kippur story. I don't think I have.
Yom Kippur. Yeah, he didn't. I guess he refused to play in. I think it was a World Series game. I think because
Oh, because it was a Saturday.
it was a holiday. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, because he was Jewish, so that was part of his thing. The, I forgot what they call it. I just know that knowledge from the Great Lebowski. You know, I don't roll on Saturdays.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, if you think about it, if that was a World Series game, I mean, a pitcher doesn't play every game, so is it that big of a deal? He's still
No,
going to pitch his 2 games or 3 games.
that's what I trip out. That's what I trip out. Like say when there's a fight and the pitcher and the batter get suspended for like 3 days. Like the pitcher really suffers nothing. The starting pitcher,
Right.
you know,
Right. Yeah.
he's
That's
out
right.
for 3 games that he wasn't even gonna pitch anyways.
Exactly. Yeah. What else? We had. I saw a question on there a little while ago. Oh, Aaron Sports Cards talks about the CC Sabathia doc. You know, I have that recorded. I'm going to watch it. It's been sitting there for a couple of weeks. My wife came across it and she recorded it for me. I wasn't aware, but he was a good pitcher, man. I remember getting his rookie card way back in, when was that? Like 99-ish was his rookie year. His rookie cards, I think, somewhere around there. 97, 98, 99, somewhere in there.
It's
Somebody knows. All these guys, you know, we have so much card knowledge watching us right now.
I actually have his rookie card. I know it's green and it's a double card because I bought a fake one at the National in Chicago. I bought a fake one. You know, it was only $1, but I thought it was pretty cool because it's like it has the back of the card, and then like the front of the card, because it's kind of a shiny card, is a sticker. And like if they're supposed to put it on right, but they put it on, offset, so you can see like the front of the car flapping over the back of the car, like the front and the back. They didn't put them together right.
Yeah,
Um,
Donato on here. He wants to know what we think about the hobby's pricing. Is it a boom? What are
it's
your
a boom
thoughts?
for sure. By definition, that's what a boom is, right? So it
Yeah.
is a boom. It's just when there's after a boom, there's the debris falls back down. You know,
Yeah, I actually, I'm of the opinion it has a lot longer to go. You and I were talking earlier about the real estate boom and how I thought it was ridiculous, and I was warning people, but then it went on way longer than I thought it ever would. That boom lasted a decade. It wasn't like it just boomed for a year and collapsed. And the same has always happened with the stock market. Markets can remain, there's a saying on Wall Street, markets can remain irrational longer than you can remain solvent, right? So sometimes these booms last a lot longer than you think they're going to. I'm of the opinion it has a long way to go.
yeah,
Unless there's a major like economic collapse or something like that where people just don't have money anymore.
and it depends on how you're looking at it. The way I sometimes look at it, it's like it's these investors that are keeping these prices high, and they keep buying from each other. Because they want to flip, and everybody keep thinking it's going to keep going up, keep going up. So
Yeah.
as long as that's the train of thought right now, people are going to keep buying and buying and buying. You
As long as
know,
there's money to be made, people will keep doing it.
yeah. But that's like me. I don't buy from eBay. And from me, from my personal experience, is like if I go to my car shop, my car dealers, my car shows, with me, what I'm used to is I go to a place that they don't have the prices on them, and I'll be like, hey, how much is that Juan Soto? They'll look it up. Oh, last one sold on eBay for 100. I'll give it to you for 75. That's what I'm used to. You know what I mean? But it seems like
Yeah.
on eBay, the last one sold for 100. Okay, give me 120 for it. It's
Right,
like
right. That's
it's like
exactly right.
it's
That's
like you don't
funny. That's so true.
yeah, because you don't. I mean, just like selling cars. Every 2020 Accord wasn't sold at the exact same price. There was negotiating, there was this and that, but everybody bought the same car for different prices. I'm not going to go to the dealer and say, what's the most that anybody paid for that? That's what I want to pay. You know what I
Right.
mean? That's what people are doing right now. I
Yeah.
want to pay. I want to pay more than the last guy paid.
Yeah, I was telling you earlier, I think the best deals are in those lesser known Hall of Famers and good players in the like Gil Hodges category aren't in the hall but maybe should be in vintage cards. I've been finding so many deals there because everybody is chasing the iconic cards. Everybody's chasing the new packs. And if you go, you can get like you want to buy stuff like this. I mean, it's selling. There really is no boom on these things. This is the way to go, I think. I've been getting a lot of like rare cards and vintage cards. Uh, what I think are undervalued because they're just people aren't paying attention to them. If it's not a Hank Aaron rookie, a Jackie Robinson, there's certain iconic cards, and that's what everybody's chasing and flipping over and over again. And of course,
Yeah,
Mickey Mantle cards, doesn't matter if it has his face on it, they're going through the roof just because, when the 52 mantle sells for a $500,000, what it does is it raises the prices of all his other cards because you're not going to have that one. You know what I mean?
yeah. It's pretty insane. But like you said, there is a lot of cards being left in the back burner because everybody's chasing a certain one.
Yeah. And there's still deals to be had. I
Like one of the me, it to me sometimes the way I kind of see what's happening right now as far as what I mean, what are they called, influencers? All these flippers and stuff like on YouTube. All they got to do is say, "Hey, this card should be worth this much," and then the next day it is. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? But a lot of times, what they're saying is like kind of true. But the way I see it, like say an average card, whatever, say a Mickey Mantle in the 80s was worth $2,000, and then 20 years later it's worth 5,000. Okay, What people are doing now is telling you, hey, this car in 10 years is going to be worth this much. So that's what I'm selling it for now. You know what I mean? That's what
Right.
it kind of
Yeah.
seems like. Like, yeah, that car should be up, should escalate to that price eventually, but I don't think it's there yet. You know what I mean?
So
So if you're an investor, buying these cars for too much, thinking they're gonna keep going up, is like, I don't know. 10 years from now, I don't see them just like be a steady ladder. You know, most graphs go up and down. You know.
well, the past is always not indicative of the future, right?
No,
Just
for sure.
because a card goes up $1,000 a month now, when you buy it, you might be that last person. You just never know.
Yeah.
You might be that person that bought that $500,000 house for $1 million and got stuck with it when things turned down.
Yeah.
And you just never know. You'll never know until it happens.
Well,
Somebody wants to know fast breaks and breakfast. Uh, Cute channel, by the way. They want to know if we national is going to happen in August.
I believe so. It doesn't seem like it, but just like you're saying about these changes, like what we're going through right now, might all of a sudden kind of die out with, obviously we're talking because it's a COVID thing. But I mean, if this vaccine starts kicking ass, we might, we might.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. My gut is it'll go on, but I don't know. I mean, maybe we'll still be in this mess. I told my family, last March, I said we're still going to be in this next March, so you might as well get used to it, and that ended up being right. So who knows? I don't know. I'm on the fence.
Yeah, like our college baseball season was supposed to start February 13th, and our coaches, all the coaches got together and they made a schedule. This was like a month and a half ago, sometime in by Thanksgiving. We had a schedule for baseball this year, for college baseball, starting February 13th. And then little by little, uh, certain schools started dropping out, saying, "No, we're not going to play this season. We're not going to play this season." So now the whole season is like in limbo because there's a few schools that don't want to participate.
Yeah. Hey, Pepino Man, do you have your cowbell or anything nearby?
Yeah.
Okay, we got to make a special announcement. We have a very famous guest in here. I just saw, and that's Stove Collector. We needed the cowbell for him.
What's up, Stove? Have you ever seen his collection of stoves?
Collection of stoves.
Yeah, he's a stove collector.
I don't know. I don't even know what a stove is.
Neither do I. I'm just making that
I collect a bunch of stuff, but I
up.
never.
Yeah, that's for sure. Don't we
Yeah.
all?
Now, Stove. I told him he's the only place I'm going for my sports news from now on, man. That's the best. That's the best news channel out there.
Presentation is on point.
Yep. And you know what? I don't know. I got to get me a green screen. Of course, I'm older, and when I used to be in when I used to do television stuff, we called it a blue screen back then. But then so many people wore blue that it messed in, so they changed the green. They changed it to the green screen. So anyway, his production's awesome. His news is fantastic. He's just he's a hoot. I get a kick out of him.
Yeah, so me and him, I don't know if you guys know this, but me and him, we bumped uglies at the national.
No,
Uh,
I didn't know.
yeah, well,
Did you
what I
sleep?
mean by that is we were both wearing our fanny packs, so with our fanny pack, we're getting fanny pack bumps.
I
And let me
refuse
tell
to
you,
wear a fanny pack.
stove is stuffing. Woo!
I refuse to wear a fanny pack of any sort. No way. I'd shove it down my pants first. That just always
It was
reminds me of the average tourist in the '80s with his sunblock and that straw hat with the fanny pack at Disney World or something.
it started out as a joke because you know a lot my wife hates my YouTube channel. She hates Pepino Man. You know what a pepino is, right?
I don't.
It's a cucumber. That's how
Oh,
you say cucumber in Spanish.
I didn't know that.
So a lot of people see it as a sexual innuendo thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I first got my hat, Pepino Man, my wife was like, "You're not going out wearing that," you know. And I'm all, "Why?" She's all, "Cause of what it says." I'm all, "It's my name," you know. But she doesn't see it as my channel name. She sees it as like I'm over here trying to say I'm selling, you know, cucumber and
You
stuff.
know,
So
I don't know why, but I just always thought that might be like where you were from, like a place you lived. It
no,
sounds
so
like a town,
the
Pepino,
the,
Pepino,
the
California.
no the so let me tell you the origin of the Pepino Man name. Basically, uh, I was like one of the last people to get, you know, at least I thought at the time, one of the last people to get on social media because I belonged in a groundskeepers club, you know, that we used to go to conventions all the time, and I was head of the chapter in LA. I was head of the LA chapter Sports Turf Management Association. So I had to open up a Facebook so I could run the Facebook page. And I was like, "Oh, I don't want to do social media." And they're like, "You have to have one." So I opened up a social media. And you know, so then after a while, I started watching. You know, I fell in love at first with like cat animal videos and stuff. Like, and I started making little videos. You know, I started making little video productions real quick, 15 seconds, 10 seconds. And then when I went to a convention, a bunch of people that were all the Pac-12 guys were hanging together, and they told my boss, you know, they're like, "Hey, there's the face of the Pac-12, man." They're like, "Tell my boss he makes the greatest videos," and my boss is like, "What do you mean? What does he do?" You know what I mean? So I stopped doing that on Facebook and I started doing it on Instagram. So and I created a character called Darth Cholo. I would make all these videos wearing my Darth Vader mask, you know, skating and just doing all kinds of stuff. And then the guys at Dodger Stadium, they found out, you know, I try to keep us all under the blankets. It's not like I know it's fun and strangers love it, but people that are dear and near you, they're like, "What's wrong with you?
Yeah, right.
Oh, are you crazy? What are you doing jumping in a pool in a speedo? What's why are you wearing this mask?" You know.
Yeah.
But my wife used to honestly, she used to be scared because I used to drive around in my car with all these costumes. She's like, "What are you gonna do? What are you gonna tell the cops when they pull you over? Like, why do you have all these wigs? You know, like you're gonna get arrested." You know? So she's always hated, you know, that I used to do that stuff. So uh, after they found out about my Instagram, I stopped doing that on Instagram, and I found YouTube. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this on YouTube." You know what I mean? I'll just do my videos on YouTube, you know, but talk about cards. It'll be card related instead of, you know, Darth Vader related, whatever I was doing before. But I did not want anybody to know about it. I didn't want my wife to know about it. I didn't want my coworkers to know about it. So I just wanted to make up a name that nobody knew me by.
Ah.
So there's on Facebook, there was the only card group that I used to belong to in Facebook towards the end. At that time, I only belonged to one. And the guy who ran it didn't want to run it no more because he was having too many complaints and stuff. So he said, I'm leaving this channel. I'm just going to name it The Cucumber. And he quit. And he labeled it The Cucumber. So I told my friends about it. I was like, "Yeah, I used to belong to this Facebook group about cards, but the guy quit. Now everybody just posts pictures of cucumbers." And they're like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Yeah, all these people it just changed overnight, and people have pictures of huge cucumbers and just all kinds of cucumber innuendos." And so everybody checked it out, and then they came back. They're like, "That's your channel. You're a liar. You're the Pepino Man. You're the Cucumber Man." So I was like, "Hey, that they started calling me that." So that's what I named my YouTube channel, to keep it a secret from my wife, my friends. All my friends were like, "I heard you're doing YouTube. What's your name?" I wouldn't tell them, you know, and they would never have guessed Pepino Man because it's totally made up, you know.
Yeah. Hey, I saw it come if an egg is on here. Best voice on YouTube, right?
Oh yeah, he does. He does. Have you seen his commercials before that he used to do?
I don't know.
He's a boy. He does voiceovers on the radio and commercials and stuff.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
I can see that. I can definitely see that. I think he's a fellow paisan.
Yes, he's Italian. I sent you those decals right from the bases of Italia?
Oh yeah.
I sent him some. Everybody that was Italian, I sent one. So Hitman 23, Eggman, every Italian that, you know, I would send them those decals of Italia.
Hey, we have another question for you. What changes have you? I know this is your feed, but I've kind of taken over as the
Oh,
interviewer.
I'm messing up on the comments. I'm not looking at the comments.
Yeah. So, Donato again, he wants to know what changes have you done in collecting in 2021? He said he had to restructure his budget
Yeah,
and his collecting.
I didn't have to restructure my budget, but okay, if you want to say what do I spend most of my money on, or spend more time doing collecting before pre-COVID, was building my sets, and all my sets are built through packs, or they were, So I would buy packs more than anything else. I bought packs all the time. I don't really put them on my YouTube channel. I don't open up a hobby box and post it. I don't post me breaking stuff, but I break more stuff than anything else. This year I couldn't. I couldn't find any retail. So what I had to do is like, well, I'm a set collector. What I'm going to start doing is just try to complete my sets. So that's what I've been doing this year. I just been buying sets instead of trying to put them together. I gave myself a COVID pass, because I can't do what I used to do.
Yeah. From my standpoint, it's what I said earlier. I haven't changed my budget. I just I've been spending my money where I can get my most bang. So, like I mentioned, those vintage cars I was talking about earlier, I've just been doing that and not trying to chase too many of the dream cards or anything like that. And it's also altered me in a way that I'm buying new cards that I can get my hands on that aren't that are just normal prices. So I bought a lot more hockey this year than I normally do, and I was able to get, like I said, on the mosaic. So I ended up with a lot of those, and of course the Stadium Club. So it's yeah, been buying what I could get my hands on, where I don't have to pay more than I used to have to pay. That kind of thing. And he says, "What did you say? Your wife gets on you about hoarding? Well, you just tell her that Pepino Man and me, we said it's not hoarding if you have cool stuff.
Yeah,
You gotta
get off his
remember that.
back.
Yeah, it's not hoarding if you got cool stuff. That's what I tell my wife.
So John, you say you have stuff all over the place too, right? You have stuff at your old house and stuff like that.
Yeah, I have in multiple locations.
Yeah, see, my room, I can't fit anything more in my room now. I already have like three big old totes in my garage, and I had to build another rack in my tool shed. So right where I have my lawnmower and my weed eater, there's baseball cards next to it too.
Yeah, I want to find an inexpensive warehouse off the beaten path somewhere. Like just not a big warehouse, just one of those little small ones that like a small electric company might rent or something like that. And just like do kind of a museum in there, kind of like a buy invite only or something, and keep all my cards because I mean I have overrun my homes. It's insane. I had them all in a climate controlled storage facility for like a decade, but I mean that's no way to enjoy them. You
Yeah.
gotta you want to enjoy them. I don't want to have to go to a storage shed and pull out boxes and stuff. So I got to come up with another way. But I have way too many. Every time I buy a new box of cards, I'm like, where am I going to put it?
Yeah, I gotta have a GI party every couple weeks because like I can find packs at Big Lots, but they're all packs that I don't need, but I buy them anyways. Like the Heritage, like say the 2020 tops, I already completed it. But if I find a pack, I'm gonna buy it just to open it, even though I don't need it because my set's complete already. But it's like, what other choice do I have?
Yeah. So
So
Jimmy Guns, yeah, your wife's on board now, huh? He said his wife, she thought cards were pointless till he showed her what his Michael Jordan rookie cards are worth now.
yeah,
That'll change anybody's mind. So vintage oddball cards, Rick. He wants me to ask you some tough questions. And
shoot.
ever since he did that video, the anniversary of Snoop, I'm kind of scared of him now. I never saw him talk like that.
Oh, vintage cards.
Vintage oddball cards, Rick. he was
Every
pretty tough
his
on that.
yeah his video definitely
He
his
was like,
little cameo definitely stood out.
yeah. So he wants me to ask you a tough question. I don't know, guys. Who tough question for Pepino? I I don't know. I don't know about a tough question. Okay. What's your dream card?
The 52
Everybody
man.
has like the Holy Grail card.
It's the
It's
52 man, but it's like I agree. It's one of those things where it was a childhood dream and it still is, but I already know it's like not gonna happen.
yeah.
you
I
know?
mean that and you hit on something good. There were always those cards, ever since the '70s or early '80s that had just become cards that you knew, you didn't even consider. You were never going to have them, like the T206 Honus Wagner, the 33 Nap Lad, the Eddie Plank T206 cards like that. And now, all of a sudden, there are lots of those cards, right? I
Yeah.
mean, now LeBron James rookie might be one of those cards. Jordan has definitely become one of those cards. Tom Brady rookies are becoming those cards. Where I don't mean everybody, but most people just are never even going to sniff one of those anymore. They have just gone up. I was telling you earlier that my favorite LeBron rookie was always that Topps Chrome, and I just never pulled the trigger on it. It was always a little pricey, I felt. And then a couple years ago, I decided I was going to get one, and I went on, and I could get like a PSA 9 for $200. And I looked at it, and I found some good ones, and there were some I was going to bid on and try to get for less, and I just never pulled the trigger. And last month or two, I went on there looking at the prices of those things. Holy cow, they're worth thousands now. They're going for thousands, and they were going for 200 like 2 years ago. 200. So I think we all have those stories, but some of these cards are just totally out of reach now.
Yeah.
And
I
people
mean,
already have them.
like say Reindeer Studio asked like about do I have a dream car that I could probably afford? And the best I can say for that is there's probably two good examples of cards that I could afford, but I just don't pull the trigger. Like say the Pee Wee Reese, all right, from the 51 Bowman. That Pee Wee Reese and
Wait, you
what do
mean
you
the 53 Bowman?
53 the 53 Bowman and the rookie Steve Dalkowski, the quad rookie card. I don't know if you're familiar with that card.
I am 1963, and that's his only
Yeah,
card.
the same year as the Pete
Price.
Rose. I want the Steve Dalkowski rookie. And so say those cards, I could run across them every once in a while for 200-300 bucks, which I could maybe afford. But at the same time, it's like I'm trying to complete my sets. It's like I spend it somewhere else. But if I had it extra, or if that was free money, those are the cards I'll get. Like if I come across free money, those are probably the cards that I will get that I want, but I can never pull the trigger. It's the Steve Dalkowski rookie and the Pee Wee Reese.
Yeah, so that was the follow-up question. If what's your dream card you can afford? For me, and I don't know if I can afford them, but they're not out of reach totally yet. And that's the 33 DeLong Lou Gehrig and the 38 Joe DiMaggio, the 38 Gaudy Joe DiMaggio, the one with the head. And of course, my dream card that's above that is the 3D Test 68 Roberto Clemente, because I'm a Clemente fan, right? So that's it for me. Those aren't totally out of reach, but they're still a chunk of change. And by the way, I could have got. I mean, those were within striking distance just 2 years ago. They weren't that much. I mean, I saw that Lou Gehrig for like $1,500, and that Gaudy DiMaggio around now. Those things are up to 5,000-6,000.
Yeah, I mean, we were both talking earlier about like the Mike Trout rookie. How I paid like $40 for mine, and you said you paid what 30 for yours, or how much?
Well, the update. I couldn't believe it that I was paying as much as I was paying, but I wanted it and I paid up, and I thought I was getting ripped off. I paid 50. I bought it for $50, and I thought
Yeah,
that was ridiculous at the time.
yeah. And I remember buying my Mike Trout for $40 and being like, it hurt me. It hurt me. It
Yeah.
was like, I want this card, but how's it $40? It's only a couple years old. You know what I
Right.
mean? We grew up
Yep.
in an area in an era where only the vintage cards were expensive.
That's
You know what I
right.
mean?
That's right.
So when you see all these new cars going for so much, it's like I used to think it'd take 20, 30 years for it to get this high.
Hey,
Now they're right off the
you know,
press. They're that much.
I was telling you the story about I couldn't bring myself to pay $30 for a Michael Jordan rookie back in the '80s. Now look at it. Yeah, you look back
Listen,
and I think today's what you might think is high today might be a bargain next year.
yeah. See, here are my two trouts. I bought these I think together,
What's the one?
but
What's that one? I don't
this
even
is
know
his
that.
I'm trying to get it on camera. This talk about this one. This is his minor league card from the Quakes, Ranch Cucamonga Quakes.
Oh, is that's in the same set?
Same year, but the minor league set.
Oh, I never even saw that card.
Yeah, so these are cool. And I remember when I paid like $30 for each of them, I was like, oh, like $40. It hurt. I think I bought the minor league one for 30 and the update for 40, and that
Uh,
hurt. I remember thinking, but I wanted it, and it's a good thing I have it. And actually, I used to have that loose. I didn't have it in any protection till like about a few months ago. I showed it on a video, and Lou Rock TV, he's like, I can't believe you're holding that raw.
you're
Put that in
killing
a
me.
holster. What are you doing?
It makes me so nervous when I see those cards raw.
But yeah, that's those are perfect examples, man. It's like good thing we got them when we did, right?
Yeah, I got so I have a bunch of are you familiar with the 1974 what's it called? Capital Publishing great set?
Oh, the CPGM, right? That's what it says, right? CPGS or something.
No, these.
Oh no, no, not those.
So these are a rare greats set, right? And I have a whole bunch coming. I stumbled onto a guy that had a whole bunch of them. These are very hard to find, and they're just gorgeous cards. And I just wanted to point out to anybody, so these include players you could never afford to buy, like Big Ed Delahanty and all these players. But if you're into the great sets, I mean, they're just beautiful. This is what they look like on the back. Here's a
Yeah,
Buck Weaver,
back in the days when stats were important, on the back of the card.
Big Ed Delahanty. But they have some of the obscure players from back in the day, like Roger Connor. I mean, try to find a Roger Connor card. Not too easy. Here's a Bills Becker. But I have a bunch of cool ones coming. I have Lou Gehrig, Three Finger Brown, Cap Anson. But these are actually very rare cards. They're very hard to find. And
Like I, I
people don't
remember,
know that, and they oftentimes will sell them very undervalued, in my opinion.
yeah, you hear those stories about people going to the shop and the shop owner doesn't even know what he has, and he's selling it cheap, and they're like, "Whoa, here it is. Here's the money."
Yeah, these. Have you ever collected these matchbooks?
I have a couple, but I never collect them. I never try to collect them all, but I have a few. Like if I find them, they're cool and I buy them. But I don't
Yeah,
have any big names.
it's a nice way to get big name players for a heck of a lot cheaper, like Dizzy Dean, Hack Wilson. I have those, and they had them in football too. Here's a guy that doesn't even have a football card, and that's Bill Hewitt. Bill Hewitt was a defensive end who they consider to be one of the best of all time. He was a pass rusher, and he didn't wear a helmet.
Mm.
And it's so funny to
And
watch him run in
OCTs.
there with no helmet, like go tackle the quarterback. But
Well, I think like in rugby,
here's
man,
the
rugby is
thing.
almost like football, and they don't wear helmets.
Yeah, I mean, you could pick up like I got this tattoo orbit for less than a box of Topps cards. This is a more rare set. 33 tattoo orbit. They're awesome. I love that set. I know Dave Blue Jacket 66 set and sold.
Hey, what's up, Ethan Allen? Ethan Elvis and more.
What other questions we
Ethan
have?
Ethan Elvis. It's funny. I discovered Ethan's channel before I had my YouTube channel. On Christmas because I have an Elvis CD that I used to play every Christmas. I would put it on, and I couldn't find it. So I put a Elvis song on my YouTube to play on the TV, and then like the next video that came on was Ethan karaokeing to Elvis, and I was like, who's this guy? And I checked his channel, and he had baseball cards. I was like, oh wow, I didn't know there were baseball cards on here.
So, Henry S. You're looking for an Abe Attell card? Is that the guy that's? Is that the? Was that the enforcer in the Black Sox scandal? Abe Attell. Was he that boxer? Or do I have that name wrong?
Look at this. My first Ted Williams card, man. I was so psyched when I just got this. I got it from B Roth, Brian Card Soup.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love this card. Got it for cheap, man. Like
It's a beautiful card. That's one of his nicest looking ones, in my opinion.
yeah, I like that mascot they got up there.
Yeah. Now, getting back to Abe Attell, I think that's who that is. I think doesn't he have a 1951 ringside card too? It wouldn't be during his playing days, but or his boxing days, I should say. But the 51 ringside, they're a little hard to find, and they're beautiful cards. The Rocky Marciano in this card's fantastic too.
$19.10 big box. Um, there's a YouTube Hall of Famer, Giuseppe. Giuseppe One, I think his name is. When I first got on YouTube, are you familiar with Giuseppe Mangini?
Who?
Giuseppe.
I don't think so.
He made the Hall of Fame the first year, and he has a huge collection of vintage boxing. He knows his boxing stuff. Like you should check out. He changed. He stopped collecting cards and got into. He didn't stop collecting cards, but he stopped making collecting card videos, and he started a coin collection video. But you can still find him, Giuseppe One, and he has awesome vintage boxing cards. Like, and he knows his history about him.
Yeah.
He was a Ted Williams collector, but memorabilia, not so much cards. So he owned like Ted Williams watch that he gets a lot of stuff from the Ted Williams estate sale, like stuff that he owns that his family is selling off. He has a real cool collection.
Yeah, here's a really cool boxing card too. This is boxing personality Churchman. But
nice.
And you can get this cheaper than most Prism cards these days.
Yeah, Carter Kid's pretty much the same way.
I got this really cool Pele. Oh, where did that go? It reminds me of the Colgan's discs. You know how much I love those. But this Pele is so cool.
So Donato wants to know, what do we think about PSA versus Raw? We had kind of a small discussion about this.
Yeah, I think you and I are in the same camp that we only like PIG grading company.
All right. Look at. If I buy a card in a PSA slab and I don't need it in my binder, or I'll keep it in the slab. Let's say I don't have a problem with PSA cards, but I don't search them out. My card. If I buy a card, it doesn't have to be in a slab. Or if I buy a card, I have no desire to slab it. Okay. Yeah. But not that I have anything against people that do. If that's your thing, cool. I like to talk about it. Why do you like PSA so much? If you want to get down to the root of when I said no to grading, I'll tell you the story of when I made up my mind about grading. All right. there was a card show, and PSA was there grading, doing live grades right here at Frankenson. And yeah, CL Puig was there signing autographs. A bunch of other players also, and WWE people. There's a bunch of people signing autographs. So a lot of people, what they were doing was they would pay to get the autograph and then take it straight to the PSA table to get it authenticated. Well, one of my friends, he got Yasiel Puig's autograph, took it to the PSA table, and they told him it wasn't authentic. Authentic. And
Are
he's
you
like, "What do you
serious?
mean? I just got it signed like literally 5 minutes ago, but he's right here." And they're all like, "No, this like we think you switched it. Like it doesn't look real." So I was part of a Facebook group. I still am today. The guys that gave me the nickname Pepino. It's a Dodger group. It's all Dodge, nothing but Dodger collectors. And so we said, "This is bull." Like he told the story, he posted it. Said they said it wasn't real. I just got it signed, and he's showing us the pictures and everything. So we all said like, "Hey, you know what? Let's all let's all sign some cards and send them to PSA and see what happens." So we started like signing Clayton Kershaw autographs, uh, who was it, Corey Seager autographs, and then we would just show them to each other and we would vote. Oh, that one looks good. That one looks good. We sent them into PSA, and like 75% of them came back authentic, and
Are
we
you
knew that they were all fake.
are you
We all knew
serious?
they were all fake. They were all fake, and about 75% of them came back authentic. So since then, I was like, PSA's word doesn't really mean much to me. You know
Well,
what I mean?
you can never know. You can never know 100% that that's an authentic autograph, right? You can unless you watch somebody sign something. There's just no way to know. I mean, I've studied handwriting analysis. I believe I can tell if I have samples, if it looks legit or not. But there's no way to 100% know. You know what
Well,
I mean?
let's say like right now how PSA is just hiring hundreds of people right now. How are all these people professional authenticators? You know, just like that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there are people like I've been collecting since I was a kid. These young collectors or the collectors that only collect PSA have no idea what a card smells like, looks like, feels like without that holder, you know. And I believe that I can grade cards when I guess at my grades and I send them in. I'm usually within a half a point, and I think it depends on what kind of day that grader's having.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
but it's kind of a shame that you never got to smell this. I don't know. Like I remember back in the day when you got bubble gum, and I have a whole over here. I still keep it because I miss the smell of opening those packs and smelling that bubble gum. And cards have a feel to them, and they have a certain smell to them, and you don't get that with this. I was talking to somebody. I think it was I was talking to Wade Boggs fan. He was interviewing me for his show, and we were talking about how certain PSA holders, from back early on, people don't want them or they don't put as much value on them as they do as new ones because they believe they grade more strict now and this and that. And I said to him, I said, look at what we're talking about. We're not talking about cards. We're talking about holders. People are collecting holders now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's no longer about the card. What's next?
Well,
Are we going to talk about who has the most untouched you should buy? Like, where do you
that's
draw
my
the line?
argument. That's my argument with people say like when people talk about why they grade and they say, "Oh, I just do it to protect the card." I was like, "Well, isn't that what one touch does? You know, isn't that the same
Yeah,
thing? You know, they both protect it. And what's actually stronger? You know what I mean?"
yeah. I mean,
But
I like the label. I'm with you. Like, whatever you like to do is what you should do. That's what I do.
yeah,
You know?
see that's the whole thing that I try to get across to people is like, if I don't like PSA and you do, I don't care. I don't have a problem with you. You know what I mean? That's cool. I like. Tell me
Yeah,
why you like
exactly.
PSA. You know, tell me
Yeah,
why
it's
you
like
like it. I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm just interested in why people do what they do. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
it's like
So I mean,
Aaron only collects raw cards. That's cool. I prefer raw cards. I really prefer them. But
yeah,
I mean, I have PSA, I have SGC, I have Beckett. I mean, when you're buying a higher end card, I mean, you do want to kind of know. But I think most of us old school collectors, we know if it's fake or not, like almost instantaneously.
Well, you see my slab that I have, my slab that I use for my pig grading. It's only one slab. I use the same one over and over. You know what I mean? But when I was trying to complete my 83 top set, the last card I needed was a Mike Smith 83 tops card for my 83 set. And I seen it for $2 in a grade 7 or something. You know what I mean? And I bought the slab. I was like, well, now I need to break it out. I was like, how do you break it out? I hadn't seen any videos on how to do it yet back then. And I basically pried it open and it came apart clean. It was a PSA 7 slab, came apart clean, didn't damage the slab at all. And took the card out and put it in my binder. And then the
Yeah.
slab was still in perfect condition. I could put it back together and take it apart at will.
Well, like for me, it drives me crazy to have a crap. And I think it's ridiculous that I have to pay insurance and shipping and a fee to get a new holder. So I just crack it out and keep it raw. I had a 1954 tops Ted Williams that was like that. It had a big crack down and it drove me nuts. So I just cracked it out. Like, I don't care. It's my card. It's staying in my collection. And I can do what I want with it. Just like everybody should do what they want to do. But I have to share this with you. Who is this? Goody G says, nobody licks a card like Pepino.
Right? Oh, I already have a card in my sight. There.
You know what's funny?
I'm going to lick this Ichiro 10.
Oh, I have that. Yeah. That's actually, I love that card. And it doesn't carry a whole lot of value, but I love that card. I think it's a great card. And that's one thing, like, I don't care. Like, I still love the card equally as if it was worth 1,000.
One of my most watched videos is is a card that video that I did like 4 years ago, where I'm putting my Mickey Mantle in the binder. I'm just like I finally get my 58 Mickey Mantle, putting it in the binder. And that one got like 3,000 views or something. But like a week before that, I made a video of me cracking, or the day before, of me cracking it out of a PSA slab. But that one only had like 14 views. You know what I mean? And I always think about, like, man, if I put that video out today, I would get hell. That thing, I would get hell for that.
Yeah, I mean, there are people that they worship PSA. Like, they can't stand to have a card unless it's in PSA. I always joke around because it's like the E-tops. They come encapsulated. They're pristine. But man, people got to crack them and send them and pay PSA to get a holder. Yeah. And I personally don't understand that. But if you want to have everything in a PSA holder, then that's what you want. I'm a bit of an SGC fan myself, just because I love the look of vintage cards in an SGC holder.
Well,
it has that kind of museum quality look.
Yeah. So everybody has their preference. You know what I mean? There's no right or wrong. Like, so when people ask me what slabs do I prefer, I always say Beckett. And then everybody says, oh, those are too big and clumsy. I was like, that's why I like them. They're harder to break. A PSA slab is so easy to break.
They were faked a number of years ago. They were fake. They were putting cards in fake PSA slabs.
That's what I'm saying about the Mike Smith card. How easy it was for me to pry it open, take the card out. I could easily put another card in there. And
RES says Hall of Famers do not, in caps, bust slabs. I don't know.
I'm a slab buster.
Preference.
See, that's why I'm afraid. Like I want to put these cards in my binder, but they're in slabs. These two right here.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid. I think I'd rather just buy them if I could buy them cheap in any condition. It doesn't matter to me, just to put them in the binder, so I could take these slabs out of here. But these slabs, they're the BVG slabs. They're so thick. I'm afraid of damaging the card, breaking it. I've seen a lot of people not have the same good luck when they break their slabs.
My knock on the BVG holders is they use that inner sleeve too.
Yeah,
and it takes away from the
that
look
shine.
of the car. You know,
Yeah,
like I mean, I don't have too many cards laying around, but uh, like in a PS holder, like the card is real clear. You know,
yeah,
you could see it great. The Beckett has like almost like a baggy, and it takes away from the look of the card, which we're going back again. You'd rather have the holder than the card.
yeah,
Because if you can't even see the damn card, then you're more interested in the holder than you are the card.
yeah. It's like when people say, "I buy the card, not the grade." It's like,
Yeah.
then why is it so important to get a 9 or a 10? You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
If you
And
really meant that, then you really don't care. But you do care to some extent, you know?
well, I was talking to you earlier. When you have a scale of 1 to 10, anything less than a 10 is a disappointment, right?
Yeah,
Like you're grading that card. That's why I like PIG grading, because at PIG they believe that every card deserves a 10.
yep, right.
If you guys don't know what PIG grading is, it's Pepino made up these slabs. It's his grading company. Do you have any laying around?
No, not the PIG. Oh, the PIG, yeah. I have this one. I have this one right now.
Oh, there you go. Hey, and I got mine ungraded, man.
Mine's is PIG graded,
It looks
man.
it looks so
Those are
much
great for your butt.
it looks so much better in that PIG holder than this.
But
See,
so
here's a Beckett. Like, it's like
yeah, those are so thick.
it has that inner sleeve, and you can just see it. It looks like it's in a
Yeah,
plastic baggie. See?
yeah. So you always get that reflection.
Right. And it's just it's
See, I
blurry.
have
Like it's blurry to look at.
there's this dealer that has a table at the car show, the thing that I go to, right? And I bought a bunch of different years Derek Jeters from him that are mostly graded like 9s and 7s, but I got them all for $5. I mean, there was tons of them. I'm trying to find them all right now, but he had a bunch of them, and I bought one of each of them that he had
Four
for
leaf
$5.
cards. Hold on. Let me. Four leaf cards. Hope you're feeling better. I think. Does he have the COVID?
Yeah, he said he's sick and he just took the test.
Uh, get better, my man.
My 101 mental. Are you talking about the Kotex card? Talking about this baby?
There you go.
One of one. Nobody owns one of these but me.
I'll tell you. So
Man, this is
when I first started doing YouTube, I stumbled upon your videos, Pepino. And man, I'm showing my wife and my daughter. I'm like, you got to see this guy. He's running around in his pajamas and like the cowbells on. He's showing baseball cards, and I'd sit there and have my coffee and watch your videos. But I think what a lot of people, if they don't know you and if they don't tune into your channel regularly, I think the thing they don't know about you is how much knowledge you have with baseball and with cards, and how long you've been collecting. That sometimes I think the craziness can take away from that. You know what I mean?
yeah. I remember feeling that way in particular after the first Hall of Fame and watching all the nominations and everybody just saying, "Oh, he's so funny," and I was like, nobody mentioned anything about my collection.
Yeah.
Nobody said anything about my cards. I know cards. I actually like cards. I'm not just a joke.
Yeah, I remember you did a video and you were like somebody said you showed a Johnny Bench card and somebody commented that's his rookie card. You're like, no shit, that's his rookie card. You don't think I know cards? You don't think I know Johnny Bench's rookie card? Like you were upset about it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there was a point where like, yeah, it started getting to me.
Yeah. But you know your cards and you know your baseball.
All right,
What
yeah.
else? Who has what do you guys want to talk about? Or should we Have people heard too much of us?
Well, I'm gonna have to cut it short, man. Man, when can we do this again, John? This was actually great. I thought we were
Yeah.
gonna have some silent times because we talked for like 2 hours just before this, and
Man,
we still have stuff to talk about.
I think you and I could fill up a whole day talking sports cards.
Yeah, but yeah, I gotta go get my wife some food. She's quarantined, so I gotta take care of her. So I
Oh,
gotta
is
go handle
she?
this. Yeah,
You better go. Before you get
yeah.
divorced.
So yeah, so we can do this again later or another day, man. But right now, I gotta go get some food.
Okay. Hey, thanks for hosting this.
All right, no problem, man. We gotta do it again. All right. Thanks everybody
Thanks
for joining
everybody
me.
for watching.
All right. Love the
You know what I'm
hobby.
gonna do, Pepino? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna look at some baseball cards.
Woo! All right,
Guys.
guys. Bye. Thanks for watching, everybody.